Favorite play at center as we begin our opening face-off segment. AJ.
I just don't see how you can get away from using Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl. They're first and second in the league in points with matching 6-goal totals. For me, I save the $1,000 and go with Draisaitl. Eventually, they're going to face somebody worth fading them in a GPP, but that certainly isn't the case against Nashville, especially when you consider Connor Ingram is expected to start in what will be just his second NHL game and the second game of a back-to-back as well. This has all the makings of a big Edmonton stack tonight.
Paul, saving or spending here?
You know what? I have to agree with AJ, but if you want to make the case for an alternate, consider that McDavid's facing a club that's playing pretty well defensively. They've only allowed 7 goals in 4 games, so that may cause me to pivot away from both those centers in this Music City matchup. Instead of the Edmonton captain and his running mate, I would recommend Nate MacKinnon, who has 9 points in 6 games and costs $8,400 tonight. He faces a Columbus club that's been loose defensively in recent games on their current road trip as well. This home matchup gives MacKinnon the usual home ice advantages against lesser defensive players.
Paul, what about your favorite play at wing?
On the wing, I go to the St. Louis-LA game, and I look at David Perron, who's already got 6 goals and 9 points in 7 games played so far. The Kings will be without arguably their 2 best blue liners in Drew Doughty and Sean Walker, so I think the Blues offense, which has been pretty solid in the early going, has a chance to pile on tonight, and Perron should be a big part of that for $6,300. In fact, I might like to stack the Blues tonight with that favorable matchup, and I'm also considering Jordan Kyrou, who has 9 points in 7 games and will cost only $5,300. So a Blues stack looks likely for me.
All right, AJ, how about you, dude?
Well, I tip my hand with the Edmonton stack, so I'll go back to the Oilers here and look at Zach Hyman for $5,900 tonight. He's just 1 goal behind the dynamic duo here, and 3 of his 6 tallies have been scored with the man advantage playing on that top group. He's lining up on McDavid left, which actually has translated more into goals for him than assists, as you might expect. So Zach Hyman is the way to go for me.
Favorite play back on the blue line, AJ?
To start the year, the Kings power play actually hasn't been too bad with a 23.5% conversion rate. They've gone 4 of 11 in their last 2 games with the man advantage here. Walker and Doughty are both sidelined, and it's Cale Clegg who has stepped in to fill that power play role. He's logged over 10 minutes of power play ice time over the last 2 games. He's scored 2 assists in that role as well, and he's going to cost you a pittance at just $2,900 tonight.
Paul, need a defenseman.
I know I made the case for fading McDavid, but I'm going to use Tyson Barrie from the Oilers blue line. He was the top power play quarterback last year, leading the league in scoring among defensemen. And the power play has been on fire. We know that. So plug him in for the relatively modest amount of $4,700. Alternatively, I also like Tony DeAngelo, who's fit in nicely on the Carolina juggernaut. He's quarterback of their power play, has 9 points and 19 shots in only 8 games played. He's in a good spot to add to those totals against a vulnerable Chicago team, and that will cost you $5,200.
Paul, bring us home with your favorite bet tonight.
I head to the alternate total goals prop to hit the over of 7.5 in the matchup in Chicago against Chicago. I know the Canes are a great all-around team with a prolific offense, but the best thing about the Hawks is their offense as well, and that's capable of making this a high-scoring affair. I expect that to be the case, and that'll pay at plus 270 tonight. Similarly, I also like the offensive possibilities in Colorado. They should win convincingly, but I might use they might use their backup goalie here and figure he'll give up a few as well. Take the over 6.5 payoff for a plus 135 win on that alternate goal prop.
AJ, hook me up with your bet, dude.
Well, you guys are going to think I'm Jeff here with all these Edmonton takes, but I say don't get fancy tonight. Like, just consider running the table with Edmonton and taking Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman each to score a goal here. You'll get the best odds on the DK Sportsbook with Hyman at plus 165 to score, but there's no reason that this entire trio can't find the back of the net.